Hey, and welcome everybody. It's Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is Christian American Magazine. I want to welcome you all to the broadcast today. Hope everybody's doing well today. And today is a big day. I mean, it's a super incredible day today, and it is a inauguration day here in United States. President Donald Trump is in town. We are very excited about this. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and some of you, this might be your first time checking out the show. This is Christian American Magazine. This is really all about highlighting those folks who are in the service of the Lord in Washington, D.C. And I want to, and so the biggest one right now, folks, is our duly elected 45th and now the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. So this morning, he was actually inaugurated, and it was just about an hour and a half ago. So it was at about 9 o'clock here on the West Coast and about 12 o'clock, 12:01 on the East Coast. We're going to be looking in and out of the news feeds as the day goes on, and so we're gonna just go ahead and put that up right now. As a matter of fact, we're gonna be putting up the news feed for Fox News right now. I want to make sure we put this up here, and if we see anything that looks like it's going to happen, we'll actually go full screen on it and we will talk about it. But let's talk about this momentous day. And before we do that, if you're watching us first time, you're checking this out, I'm Pastor Sherman Ray. We started this broadcast as a way of getting pastors and getting people in the ministry into politics. And I ran for public office a few years back, found out that maybe it's not for me. Yeah, it's like Ivanka Trump, Ivanka. I found out that the business of running for politics is for people who really like nastiness. I've been a pastor, I've been a minister, I've been working in the field of ministry for many, many years, and I found out really quick that I just didn't like it. I just didn't like the people you had to deal with. I didn't like the things that were required of you on occasion, and it's not as though they're asking you to, sell your soul, but you have to sell your soul. You know what I mean? It's just very interesting. By the way, if we encourage you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right over here someplace. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that way you can get updated every time we have a show, which is about once a week. We're going to try to do it a little more frequently, but we generally do them about once a week or so, and we just kind of get you up and running. This is the week, though, guys. It really is. This is the week that things are going crazy in Washington, D.C., and got up early this morning, went and worked out with the wifey, and we had to get home because one of the things that we wanted to see happen is we wanted to see the inauguration of Donald Trump. So let me back up a little bit, because some of you are probably, especially folks who are not really politically minded. So what is so important about Donald Trump and so much, about his presidency? Well, here's the deal. Donald Trump was the 45th president of the United States, and when he was elected president, I had the rare privilege of being asked to open up one of his rallies. And many of you have seen these rallies. They are wild, they're raucous, they're rocking, they're optimistic, they're just crazy, full of people who are true patriots. I was asked early on in the 2015 year, I believe it was 2015, that they said to me, "Hey, Sherman, would you like to come and check out this rally?" And this is when Donald Trump and Mike Pence were citizens. Mike Pence, of course, was a governor at one time. But one of the things and so I showed up at this event, and it was for Mike Pence, and they said, "Hey, would you like to open up the Pence rally?" Because the guy who was supposed to show up has not shown up yet. And they knew that I was a Christian. And I guess at the time I was the highest profile Christian they could find. And so I said, "Well, sure, I'll do it." And the guy showed up, and that was fine. And they said, "Well, Sherman, what we'd like to do to you, though, is we'd like to have you come back. We'll invite you when candidate Trump comes into town, and you can open up his rally. I said, sure. And no. So I invited one of my friends with me, and sure enough, he came back to town. They called me up. They said, be here at such and such time. They did a background check on me, the whole thing, and I got to open up the Trump rally. I got to pray for him, and pretty quickly after that, lost all of my friends. Yeah, I lost family members. Literally, I had a family member who's my daughter's father-in-law, unfriended me on Facebook. He said he couldn't. And this is how polarizing Donald Trump was. Not just that they didn't like him, they hated him. And people would risk their families as a result of that. So now, 4 years of Trump, they tried to impeach him. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to do all these things. And the last thing that they really tried to do is they tried to kill him. And that didn't work. And people said, you know, there's something wrong here. We have got a man here who cannot be killed, who cannot be impeached. We can't force him in. We can't arrest him. We can't do any of these things to him. And then they said, okay, let's see if we can just beat him in an election. Couldn't beat him in an election. And as fate would have it, not only did Donald Trump win the White House, but he won the popular and the electoral vote. Not by a little, a landslide. There was a referendum on America, and guess what? The American people said we've had enough. We've had enough of what's been going on in America, and we want to see a change. So today marked that day, the pivotal day in American politics, where a transition of power occurred. Transition of power occurred between Donald Trump coming in, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, and also the outgoing president, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris. And so I want to talk a little bit about that also, because this was probably not good also, what happened at the end of the Biden administration. But once again, we are just so glad that he's gone. We are just so glad that Joe Biden is gone, and could not ask for a better thing to have ever happened to this nation than Joe Biden go. So let's talk about this real quick. What happened as a result of the Joe Biden administration? And what I'm gonna do is, I know some people are watching us already on our YouTube channel, and I want to make sure that if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, which is Godstream TV, I'm going to go ahead and go to our YouTube channel, and that way, if you're watching us and you'd like to get in on the conversation, be more than happy to talk to you at this time and to see what you got to say. I'm going to make sure. Hang on, you guys, watch this. I'm going to go ahead and switch screens here really quick so you can actually watch some of the stuff that's going on over at Fox News, and then I'll be back in just a second, okay? All right, and we are back. So once again, folks, I want you to understand that we are watching in the screen over here to my, I guess it would be this way, to this side of here. We're watching the live feed from Fox News as they are showing people in the Capitol Arena. Also, and they're covering the dais for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump was elected today the 47th president of the United States. And so, but if you're watching the broadcast right now, we're up. I can actually see the chat feature that it's up on our page. And I want to encourage you, if you're watching the show right now, go ahead, ask any kind of question, like to try to get any kind of question into you. But let's go on with what happened over the last 4 years with the Biden administration. The Biden administration, Joe Biden, who was elected to be a unifier, and he was the adult in the room. did everything but that, folks. As a matter of fact, the first thing that Joe Biden did as the unifier in chief was to undo Trump policies that his party felt were bad for the country, like securing the borders. One of the first acts he did, Joe Biden did, was to open up the southern border of the United States, which over the next 4 years, 20 million illegal aliens came in our country. 20 million, folks. And those are the ones that we're able to count. It also allowed fentanyl to pour over our borders. It also allowed sex trafficking to come over our borders. It also allowed terrorists to come into our country, criminals to come into our country. Just that one act alone, we're not going to, and we'll go on to some other things, but that one act alone by the administration of Joe Biden and his Homeland Security folks was an act of treason. And it should have been seen as that, as an act of treason, because his first job as the president of the United States is not to do what his party wants him to do. His first job is to protect our country, and that's not what he did. So let's talk about another thing he did. He cut off our funding for the Keystone pipeline. He canceled that. Oh, I'm sorry, but he allowed the Russians to do their pipeline, which fed our allies. So now our allies are feeding the Russian war machine, which, once again, all these things have a snowball effect. Putin was then encouraged, because now he's got money, now he can go ahead and invade Ukraine. Because guess what? He's looking at the United States as weak. United States under Joe Biden saw the largest rise in inflation. We saw people losing their homes. We saw people destitute. We saw us lose our place and our position of power on the global stage, because just like his predecessor, Barack Obama, Joe Biden felt as though, guess what, America was a terrible country. Joe Biden ushered in the woke movement, the woke agenda, where today Donald Trump reversed all of that in one fell swoop. He said, "Look, the stance of the United States now is there are only two sexes." You see, under the woke movement, Joe Biden had transgender, misgendered, cisgender, all kinds of things going on in his White House. He had a Secretary of Health and Human Services, I guess it was, or was it the guy in the Navy? Well, he had quite a few of them that were out and out. They were, what do you call these people? There was actually a really stark word for it. I can't remember what the word is. But there were people who did not know what gender they were. They were men in women's clothing. I would assume that people looked at America and said, you know, America, what is wrong with you guys? Why are you guys doing this? You are a land who's on your money, if you look at your money, that it's on your money that says, in God we trust. And yet you've got these people who are, we had one guy who was the, one of the heads who got rid of our nuclear waste. And the guy was a woman dressed up. Oh, it was disgusting. I forgot the guy's name, but he was a criminal too. This guy was going around wearing women's clothing, bald-headed guy, and was stealing women's clothing out of airport conveyor belts. And this was the Biden administration. For 4 years, America went through some of the worst we could ever go through. And as a result of that, folks, we as a country suffered tremendously. And now the Trump administration is coming back. And when they come back, folks, we are looking for an amazing change. But I want to back up for just a second, folks. There's some people who are just watching the show now. You're just watching for the first time. I'm Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is Christian American Magazine. I want to thank you all for being a part of the broadcast. If you'd like to write to us, if you'd like to, give us some kind of input on the show, if you'd like to get any more, just write to us at christianamericanmagazine@gmail.com. It's christianamericanmagazine@gmail.com. We're really hoping to work on and to actually make a magazine. Right now, we do a lot of posting on Facebook, and we have a channel on Godstream, but we really like to make this into a magazine. We need help with that, folks. If you'd like to help us out with Christian American Magazine, go ahead and write to us at christianamericanmagazine@gmail.com. It's christianamericanmagazine@gmail.com, and let us know how you can help. We need people who are writers. We need people who are videographers. We need people who are anchors. We'd love to be able to get you out there and be able to talk about how Christians are working in government and what they're doing, and the highs, the lows, the things that they're going through, and be able to get people who are on the right, people who love Jesus, to get out there and get involved in politics. One of these organizations that we are closely watching is they called the Federation of gosh, I'm gonna screw up the name of it. They are the Trump administration sent out Paula White, and Paula White is his spiritual mentor. She's out of Florida, and she has a group. She's part of the federal government's group of faith coalition organizers. And what they do is they basically pray, and they set policy, and they get back to the White House on what's going on in the spiritual realm here in America. And so we're so very excited about that. And so people like that who are doing some amazing things. One of the other things that we see happening is that we see other people in government who are doing some amazing things. Tim Scott, born again Christian, on fire. Mike Johnson, who is the head of Congress, he's the Speaker of the House. He's the number 3 guy in the White House, or in government. We've got all kinds of Christians all up and down the sphere, and those folks need our prayers. They do, and so we're so happy to help them and continue getting them going. As you're looking up the screen here, folks, you're looking up the screen right here. What that is, that's a feed from one of our local affiliates. That's Fox News, actually. Fox News is out there covering the White House, and we're so excited that we're able to bring that feed to you right now. And if we see that something is going on, if we see the president jump in, we'll go ahead and split to that, and we'll be able to let you guys see what's going on in the White House. So we're very excited about that. Let's get rid of that too. So one of the things that we saw this morning, and so excited about this, that we saw this morning, was that during the president's speech, as he was talking about America, that he said something very interesting. He said, "The golden age of America has started." Yeah, the golden age of America has started. And what does that mean? Well, it's really what it sounds like. That America has gone through some really bad times over the last 4 years. And as a result of that, we have a ways to go to come back. And so President Trump, being the optimist, has said, you know what? We are going to get back on our horse. We're going to get back into the game. We are going to put America first, and we are going to return to being the country that is the envy of the world. So very excited about this. He said something very interesting, and I posted it. He said, and I'm going to look for this really quick, because I posted it on Facebook, and he said something very interesting. I'm gonna look it up here really quick, folks. So bear with me for just a second, because I thought it was just amazing. It was a great. And we shared this. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can find it on this page here. When you deal with so many pages that we are a part of, sometimes you go, wow, did I actually post this? America. The impossible is what we do best. Let's see. Is that good? Okay, it says America. The impossible is what we do best. And what do you mean by that? So one of the things that President Trump meant by that was that, guess what? There is nothing we cannot do. And if people tell us that it's impossible to do this, it's impossible to do that, well, that's what we do best. We do impossible the best. If you say we can't get to the moon, it might. If you say we can't build a bridge, if you say we can't build a tunnel, if you say we can't reach to the heights, well, that's what we do best. So one of the things that President Trump has challenged America to do is to go to Mars. And Elon Musk is doing the heavy lifting right now. We've got people who are racing now to get it done. It kind of reminds you of that John F. Kennedy thing, right? John F. Kennedy said, that we are going to go to the moon. Why? Because it's hard. Right? Because it's hard, and that's what we do best, okay? We did not hear that under the Biden administration. You know what we heard in the Biden administration was that we're a racist, homophobic country that needs to become less racist and homophobic. Okay, we're not racist or a homophobic country. We are a country that has people in it who are racist and homophobic. Right? We got people. I mean, no nation that I know of has a perfect society, but America is an ideal. I want you to get this. America is an ideal which is not racist, nor is it homophobic. America, the ideal of America is colorblind. The ideal of America is merit-based. The ideal of America is that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And unfortunately, what we saw under the Biden administration is we see a total reversal of that thing. And they're saying, no, we are going to eliminate America's right to do something like that. We're going to crush the will of America by putting you in little corners and putting this group into this corner and that group into that corner and pitting this group against that and the rich against the poor, and everybody's going to be the same, except for us up top, of course. The Biden administration over the last 4 years, and then the Obama administration before that, have done more to hurt America than any other administration in history. And they wanted to do more. But the American people, even after voting President Trump out of office, saw the folly of their way and said, oh no, we're not taking this anymore. No way. We can't do this anymore. And they reelected President Trump. So you can see the report here is that President Trump is planning on sweeping action on the border. Some of the first things he's going to do in his executive actions, and President Trump actually said this as he was speaking to the crowd after his election, or after his inauguration, was that he had some things that were top of his list. One of them was to close the border. That was the first thing he was going to do, close the border and start making it illegal so you're going to not be able to get over the border. Okay, we're done with that. They got caravans of people down south and up north. So this isn't just for the southern border, it's our northern border also, where they're saying you're done. And another thing he said he was going to do was that he was going to make these criminal cartels, get this, state sponsors of terror. Not only the cartels in Mexico, but also the ones in the United States. That's big. So MS-13 that's here in the United States, these gangs that we have running around in the United States, President Trump said we are going to make you personas non gratis, that you are going to be, wow, what is this? What is this we're seeing? I'm looking for an update here, folks. I'm sorry. Effective January 20th. Oh, I'm sorry. That was an update that I wanted to see, and I was hoping to. So there is actually a CBP app that people were getting, and we're gonna go ahead and switch that really quick here, folks, so that you can actually see this, and maybe we'll be able to get it back to you. There are people who have been able to, and I'm gonna go. You can see it up here. You can see it up here in my corner here, folks. There are people who are using what is called a CBP app, and this app gives people a way to apply to come into the country, even though they're legal and they've not applied for sanctuary status, but they can come in anyways. And it's just, they can't do that. So there's no way. You can't do that. And so that app is going to go dark pretty quick. They'll probably pull the plug on that really quick. And so there are sweeping reforms all over the place that the Trump administration is going to be doing. So we're looking really forward to it. We're looking forward to seeing what is going to happen with the new incoming administration. And once again, let's go ahead and jump in right now. Maybe we can actually hear President Trump as he's talking here. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. Okay.
And admiration of the entire world.
Well, once again, folks, we're really trying to what we need. So here's the deal. If you are, once again, and you see the issues we're dealing with here, if you are somebody who you're saying, hey, we want to be a part of the Christian American Magazine, our broadcast, we would love to have you to be a part of it. We need people who are audio engineers and people who are video engineers, people who can actually work with us, replay people, so that we can bring our viewers some of the most important and most pressing things there are. Once again, today we had President Trump, who became the 47th president of the United States. We're so excited about what just happened, folks. And we cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the next couple of hours. This afternoon, there are balls that the president is going to be going to all day long, and then he's going to get to the executive action stuff, and he's going to be writing into as executive actions somewhere upwards of 200 executive actions, which will do, among other things, seal the border, begin to corral all of the things that we're seeing that were just going nuts in America, and policy that will plant the seeds to make America great again. So, folks, get ready. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a wild ride, and we're going to be able to watch it. This has been Sherman Ray for Christian American Magazine. Thank you once again for being a part of the broadcast, folks. We will see you again, hopefully in the next couple of days, for more of Christian American Magazine. If you'd like to check us out, go ahead and go to godstreamtv.com. That's godstreamtv.com, and you can actually check out the show. Also, if you'd like to write to us at christianamericanmagazine@gmail.com. That's christianamericanmagazine@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And once again, folks, Christian American Magazine. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and of course, Godstream TV. This has been Sherman Ray for Christian American Magazine. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.